What's up, everybody? Justin here from Launch Kits. Hey, man, I'm the founder and owner here at Launch Kits. We're a web design company based in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We got a cool office, and yeah, like a traditional web design company, we've got a ping pong table because we like to play, actually. So that's kind of fun. It's not just for show. But hey, 6 questions that if you're a sweaty startup website listener and you want to launch a sweaty startup website, we've launched over 250 sweaty startup clients, people that are weekend warriors or late night hustlers that are trying to do a side hustle to get it to be the main thing. And we found that there's 6 questions really that you should ask yourself about building your online presence before you build a website with sweaty startups, or before you take that next step to make your sweaty startup become the main thing. So number one, in no particular order, you really need to ask yourself, how will my website help me get leads? So when you launch a business, whether it's a community-based business, whether you're trying to reach B2B or B2C, whether it's home service, you really want to think through, how am I going to get leads? Now, there's the very common traditional ways that work: yard signs, door hangers. If you have money, direct mailers can work. If you've got a really targeted audience, just buying a random list and sending them out generally doesn't work for conversion. But how are you going to get your leads? So you have the offline approaches. You certainly, some people even spend a lot of money wrapping cars before they are even getting their first lead in the door. I don't quite understand that, and I wouldn't recommend it. But you have the online then ways. So paid and organic traffic or social traffic driving to a website is another way to get leads. But you really have to think through, how am I going to do it? What's natural for me or what's effective for my community? So yard signs work in some neighborhoods and they don't in other neighborhoods. If everyone's house is back off the road, obviously you don't want a yard sign strategy, because even if you put the yard sign out front that says garage door installed by, guess what? I can't see the garage door from the road. Or if you're a landscape design company and the work you do is back off the road and you're doing yard signs, it might not be that effective. So you really have to think that yard signs, as an example, you want to see the sign and the work, not just the sign, for the highest conversion. I'm talking about when you're launching a sweaty startup business, when you're trying to get your wheels on the ground and moving forward. Online, social, paid ads, or organic SEO content. Think through that strategy so that when you build a website, you then know how it's going to work for you. Some people wrap cars and put up yard signs that don't even have their domain on them. So you really need to think through this strategy. The other thing to think about, number two, is, how am I going to maintain a website? A lot of people build a website and don't even think of maintaining it. Who's hosting it? Who are you paying for security on it? When you write blogs or add content or post videos like this, who's going to put it on? Are you going to do that after you go and you've worked all day and you come home and you got to sit down, you have to log into a website and then post things? Or does your website company have a team of people that are always there to text or email or call or send them little job snippets or overviews or case studies? You've got to have a support team that's going to help you and work with you so that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Or if you're the roll up your sleeves type person and you're going to be the one to maintain it, make sure when you start your business, you work that into your schedule. Hey, over lunchtime, I'm going to take 20 minutes. I'm going to write a blog post for my website on Wednesdays at lunch. Try and think through how you're going to maintain the website you build, because just building a website and leaving it out there, it's not going to rank unless it's maintained, if it's updated, if it's got curated and helpful content for your potential customers. Number three, who owns it? That's a huge question. If you build on GoDaddy or Wix or Weebly or some of these other providers, guess what? When you stop paying them, your website goes away. Make sure that when you build a website, you own it. You have to think about who owns the website before you build it. Otherwise, it just happened to us this week here at Launch Kits. One of our clients came to us because they were paying Haibu. They were paying Haibu. They stopped paying Haibu. The website went away. All the content, all the images, all everything. You have to really think through who's owning all of that content. Here at Launch Kits, when you write and order a website, we write the content for you. We design, and customize and optimize images for you. We do all that. It's all yours. You own it. If you decide to go away because you found a better deal, which is very hard to do, nearly impossible, I don't even know how you would. then you own it. We'll export it and give it to you. Number 4, can your website grow with you? That's a really important question. Sometimes like a power washing company thinks, oh, I'm just going to launch, do some houses in the neighborhood, get a contract with a realtor or maybe a neighborhood association, do all this work, but then you start growing and maybe you go into other cities or other neighborhoods. And can your website grow with you? Can you expand and start blogging and adding content on your website? Can you add a members portal to your website? Can you add customer dashboards? Is your website able to grow with you? Sometimes if you launch on Squarespace, I know it from firsthand experience, building some of my first businesses on Squarespace, then it didn't grow to the capacity that I needed. So make sure your website can grow with you. And again, back to question number 2, how am I going to maintain it? Make sure someone from a support team can also help you grow and expand and add things that you need. So make sure your website can grow with you. Okay, 2 more questions that are really important for you if you are launching a sweaty startup website. Number 5, what is my main message? If you're a landscaper, you really want to think about your messaging before you build a website. Are you going to be the cheapest? Are you going to be the highest end? Are you going to be the most locally aware landscape designer? How are you going to channel an audience to resonate with you on your website? What's your message going to be? Are you the number 1 landscaper in, Florida, or are you a Bermuda grass specialist? So think of, is it speed? Is it cost? Is it efficiency? Is it you and your presence and your love of the community you're in? Why are people going to resonate with your service? What's your main message? One of the things for us at Launch Kits is that we are based here in the United States. All of our team works out of this office in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. 2 of our people work in this same county, just not from our office. So we are USA based. Our support is here. So our message is USA based support that you can actually afford. You can call and talk to somebody. So what is your main message for your business? Think about that before you launch a website. If you've done it already and you've already launched a website, try and clarify that messaging and get it, updated on your website. And 6, what should I spend? How much should I even spend on a website? You need to ask this question before you start the process. And I'll give you a little hint. If you are spending an amount of money on your website that only produces a return on that investment, if you sell 10 new clients, you're spending too much. You're not guaranteed that in your first 12 months that your website alone is going to generate 10 new clients. You might by networking, you might by knocking on doors, you might by putting up yard signs, you might generate that, but is your website going to generate that? So as a good rule of thumb, if you're someone starting a new business, I would say this: make sure that your website will generate at least 3 times the return on your investment with at least 3 clients. Okay. So if you spend $1,000 for a website, you get 3 clients, you should easily make over $3,000 profit on that. Okay. So 3 times your investment. You need to try and get to $3,000 if you spend $1,000. If you spend $5,000, you have to make sure that at least 3 leads from your website will generate $15,000. So use the rule of 3s. It's kind of helpful to figure out what are my thresholds, and you don't get sucked into overpaying for something that you don't really need. Look, you can think of that another way. How much should you spend on your website? Well, it's a question of what are you willing to risk losing. So if you spend $10,000 and you never get a dime back, are you okay with that? If you spend $1,000 building it, are you okay with that? So think about, what are you okay with losing? Or think about, hey, look, if I sell 2 or 3 projects through that, not just will I get my money back, but will I get a return on my investment? So if you're a Sweaty Startup listener, if you're someone that's working hard on the weekends to try and make a side hustle the main thing, or you're working for someone and you can't wait to found your own business, hopefully these tips will be helpful for you as you think about launching your own website for your business. Think about it before you launch, and that way you'll have a better trajectory when you launch. If you have any questions about the Launch Kits method, feel free to ask anytime. My name is Justin. Like I said, I'm the founder and owner here, and happy to answer any questions you have.